What's up, everybody? This is Bishop Sammie Haynes, and welcome to Relationship Place. And before we start, I would have to say that the first show that we filmed, that was before I became bishop. That was when I was bishop-elect, and so I was still using the brand Pastor Sammie. So I want to make sure for those who's like, oh, he is bishop. I am bishop. I have gone through the process and now I am here. But I'm excited again to say, welcome to Relationship Place. And I am your host, Bishop Sammie Haynes. And today we have a very special guest that I am so grateful for and appreciate her being in the city of angels. And she's originally from Memphis, Tennessee. Oh, Memphis is in the building. She's a financial accountant, but also now she's a pastor designate of Vision Church Los Angeles. And so I'm excited to welcome to Relationship Place none other than Pastor Designate Daumonique Lenhardt. What's going on?
Absolutely, Bishop. Bishop.
Yeah, I'm still getting used to that.
Yeah, thank you for
and
having me.
people saying that and people calling me that. But I am so grateful to have you here, and thank you for saying yes. Because I know you're very busy and you always have something going on. So to have you in this space and to talk to you is a pleasure for me.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So let's just first start at how do we meet? How do we interact? And when do we come to know each other? From your perspective, I know myself, but from your perspective.
Absolutely. Our story is actually kind of, it's a story. We actually met in the middle of the pandemic, 2020.
Right.
We connected in 2020. And that connection was kind of out of the blue, honestly. But it's been very intentional. It's been very, it's kind of been a launching pad for me, our connection in different avenues. So it's been 5 years since we connected.
Time has moved so fast because it still feels like it was just yesterday when I moved here from Atlanta, Georgia. But thank God things are not the same. Hallelujah. Things are not the same, and things have changed a lot for me. But you're right. It's been 5 years.
5 years.
Since we connected. And originally, it wasn't thought that you would move to Los Angeles. That wasn't the case. We really was connecting for ministry elevation, but not thinking you would come out here. But I'm so glad that the God saw fit.
Absolutely.
To let these things be.
Absolutely.
And so I also want to say, what do you think was the thing that brought you out here? Because Memphis is a long ways from home. You are a long ways from home when you talk about moving out here from Memphis. And also, LA is on the other side of the world.
Listen.
You can't just pack up, get in your car. You can and say, I'm going to just drive home. That's a day to get home. So to really leave Memphis, Tennessee and come all the way out here to the West Coast, why and what did that feel like?
Why and what did it feel like? Why? Because there was a burning desire for me to see more. There was a passion in me to see more, to be more, to become more. And a lot of times you get so used to what you see, where you're from, that it kind of consumes you. So if you don't get a chance to see more, and connecting with you, I was able to see more.
Wow.
Which led me to becoming more, which led me to understanding that I have capacity for more. So it was extremely divine for me to be here.
Wow.
I can even go back to playing college basketball when my grandfather would see me when I would come home on the summer for my breaks, and he would say, Miss Nick, you still here? I thought you ran off to Hollywood somewhere.
Really? He would say that to you?
He would say that to me, and I would brush it off, No, I'm just in Missouri, Granddad. I'm just playing basketball, But that was something that he saw. And, he never let go of that. Every time he saw me, he was consistent in saying that. So I would like to even say that my grandfather foresaw that I would actually leave Arlington, Tennessee, or Memphis, Tennessee, to come and have a journey in Los Angeles.
Wow. And let's talk about your grandfather, because you talk about him quite often.
Yeah.
And I really have learned about your grandfather through you, because you talk about him. And I have to ask you, how much influence has he had on your life? Because when I hear you preach, now she can preach now. When I hear you preach, when I hear you minister, I hear the theologian in you stand up. And I know that was developed through someone's influence. And I believe your grandfather weighed in on how you read scripture and interpret it at the same time.
Absolutely. I remember being a kid, no older than probably 12, 13 years old. And my grandfather would put $100 on the table, and he would give us a question in the Bible. It wasn't a question that was easy to find, but we had to research. We had to dig deep. And at the time, all we had was the Bible and the encyclopedias and things of that nature. But he was the type of man that he wanted us to understand the Word of God for ourselves. So my theology comes from his deep-rooted love of the Word of God. My grandfather was the type of man that would go into his study for hours and just write. He has a degree in theology, and I did not know that until I moved out here. My grandmother gave me a stack of his things, his books, a whole lot of literature, and I went through that, and I actually saw that my grandfather had a degree in theology.
Wow.
So it wasn't just something that he loved, it was something that he studied. So my me coming into who I am, I'm understanding that the seed was planted. So I'm not just here by happenstance. I'm here because there's a lineage of theology that's in my bloodline. So absolutely, it came from him.
Wow. And I have to also ask, in this same moment, what it took for you to be you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it took a lot for you to become who we see today. That it wasn't overnight. You are a basketball sensation. You are a deep thinker. You are a spiritual being. Yet you are also coming through the truth of your identity. And what did that mean, and how did that feel in the process of your becoming from Memphis, Tennessee?
Wow. That's such a loaded question. But me becoming started at an early age. I was built for a while, from a teenager up until now, to take attacks, to take the naysayers, to take the you're good, but if you are this way, you would be better. I was built for that as a teenager.
Wow.
Because I wouldn't compromise on who I knew I was.
Wow.
So the confidence that you see is because I've had to walk through the dark and do the work by myself.
Walk through the dark.
Yeah.
Okay. Walk through the dark to be okay. I'm sorry. I just had to do because that right there caused a little goosebumps to come up.
And walking through the dark is where I found God. So it wasn't about who people told me God was. It was about those moments where I was alone and all I had was God.
Wow.
So now I need you to reveal yourself to me so that I can be who you called me to be without compromise.
Wow.
Or without the opinions of other people deterring me from what you placed in me.
Yeah.
So becoming who I am was not without fight. Not without
I can imagine.
attacks, not without, having to, at an early age, understand what it is to have nobody but God when no one else understood.
Yeah.
So that becoming and transitioning out to Los Angeles, I was able to live on the building blocks of experience that I've already gone through.
Yeah.
So this transition, I was actually prepared for it.
Wow. I can see it in your everyday life. And honestly, I appreciate it. I appreciate it because you are so resilient. And to be in ministry, and I try to remind people, to be in ministry, you have to be resilient because it's not easy. You're dealing with a lot of different types of personalities, and people come in with a whole lot of sometimes baggage, and they dump that baggage. And you're also working through your own life, your own woes, and trying to be balanced in a way that you can help somebody. But I've seen you navigate through difficult seasons. I've seen you navigate through challenging moments, but never lose your faith, never lose your focus, but stay in the pocket. I'm always
in the pocket, in the pocket.
I'm always about how do we stay consistent, because I believe consistency is the key to success, and how do you stay in the pocket and keep driving in the midst of challenges, in the midst of things that make you want to stop, look, and be like, what's up? But I appreciate you always being resilient and consistent, and I feel like there's a loyalist down in you.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you think they come from?
My mother.
Really?
My mother. My mother is beyond loyal. So she doesn't have a lot of friends, but the friends that she's had, they've been in my life since I was a baby, and I'm 37.
Wow.
The people that she loves on, you can do wrong, she'll let you know that wrong, but the person that you wronged probably won't know. They'll just know that she handled it, because she has that sense of if you're mine, you're mine. I don't care what you do, you're mine.
Wow.
So for me, loyalty is big, because not too many people have people that you can count on.
Whew, say that again.
Yeah, you search for people that you can count on. So when you find people that, are going to be there regardless, you hold on to them.
With your life.
With your life. You
do.
And you don't just hold on to them. You have to become those people.
Okay. I see. Reverend, I see you. You really do have to become.
You have to become that person.
What you expect.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Somebody has taught you well. I have to be so grateful for you because I met your mom. I think she's visited us twice in Los Angeles.
Yes.
I met your sister, who are just really phenomenal people, and your sister have preached us down, even at Vision Los Angeles. And I have so much respect for them. Because of their love, admiration, and support of you, has been just phenomenal. And I say, as you look at your life and you view it now, have you seen yourself grow from being out here now 5 years? Well, no, you've been out here now, what, 3 years? Have you seen yourself grow and evolve in 3 years of being in Los Angeles?
Oh my goodness, in ways that I can't even describe. And it's not those things that you can see. It's not those tangible things. Of course, my career, I've been blessed to, work for dynamic corporations. I've, been blessed to own different things. Yeah. But it's the mentality. It's the perspective. Yeah. It's the energy. Yeah. Those things that money can't buy. The character, understanding how important your integrity is in every season. Yeah. You couldn't have paid me to think that Los Angeles would have been the experience that it's been. Wow. But it has grown me in a way to where I love everything about my journey.
Really? Do you think you had to leave Memphis to come this far out to the West Coast to discover this side of you?
Absolutely.
Or could you have just stayed in Memphis and worked it through in Memphis?
I think that God exposed how spoiled I was in Memphis. I didn't have to think too hard.
Oh, wow.
My family, I have an amazing family that, they spoil us. So it wasn't too much that I had to figure out in Memphis. It was easy for me. My network, my family knows a lot of people, so I knew who to call, how to make things happen. But out here, it's showing me from not from ground zero, but from experience, how to build that for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How to build my legacy. Where's my lane? So coming out here, I absolutely believe that I had to leave the nest.
Wow.
Because the nest was amazing back home.
I hear it.
The nest was amazing, you know. But coming out here, it was about God showing himself to me.
Mm.
Not necessarily my family and all the things that he's done for my family, but God said, I want to do those things for you.
Whew. Okay. When you said that, that made me think about, God showing himself really in a very nuanced way in my own life.
Yeah.
Because when I moved out here, this was a faith move. It was a faith journey. It was a faith dream. The entire process was by faith.
Yeah.
And I say this because I believe it. I would never know the extent of what God can do, be, perform, doors God can open if I had not left Georgia. I know God in a very different way.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up in a church where people would say, God is a healer, God is a way maker, God can pay your bills. They would believe God for these miraculous things that they could not do by their own means. And I love Georgia, enjoyed Georgia, but I just knew when I was called to come to California. But I was faithing it in a way I did not come in a traditional. I come in a very non-traditional manner, meaning that I didn't come with a job. I didn't come with exactly knowing where I was going to stay. So I didn't have an apartment. I literally was faithing it. And to now look back on all the stuff that God has brought me through and brought me to, and it has blown my mind in a way that no matter what may look bleak, I trust the Lord with all my heart and lean not into my own understanding. In all thy way I will acknowledge God, because I have discovered God will direct my path. And God has directed my path.
You say something to us all the time, Bishop. You say that God will give you more on your way than what you had when you started. And I think that you've walked that thing out in a way that the people that follow you have the confidence to walk it out, because you're so transparent in telling your story of your transition from Atlanta to California. And when you tell that story, that story is so empowering because we all can see what God did.
I never really thought about it like that. Till you just said it in a moment. And it is ministering to me right now, because that is one of the main mantras of my life. I have about 2 or 3, but that is one of the main mantras of my life, that God will give you more on your way than when you start. And I have been able to see that more and more. And it made me realize, even just this week has been very interesting. All week, just
listen,
one thing after another. And I was just like, Lord, okay, God, what are you doing? But it reminded me in this moment that God will give you more on your way than when you start. God has not brought you this far to leave you.
Yeah.
That God will take care of everything that you even feel like is going to stress you out, or like, God, I always like to say like this: God, I know you ain't brought me this far to embarrass me.
Listen.
I know you haven't brought me this far to embarrass me. And this week, things just got so heavy that I said, I needed to walk. And sometimes walking for me is therapeutic. And I began to walk, and as I was walking, and I got to USC, and I sat on the ground and just began to center and recenter my spirit in a way that I could just breathe and just let go of the stress. God said, it's been cleared. And I was like, God, you know how you be like,
just go in.
God said, it's been cleared. Like, stop worrying, stressing yourself out about it. And it's in those moments, and even moments like this, that's why I love God so much, because God will always remind us that I'm with you, that I got you. No matter who leaves you, it's okay. No matter what you may have to do without for a moment, but it's but for a moment, but in time, I'm going to reveal myself to you.
Morning has to come.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh my God. All right. 'Cause, I'm about to just go in. I have to switch professionally because you mentioned it. And I remember we had Wednesday night empowerment. And one of our Wednesday empowerments, for the close of our first half of Wednesday empowerment, we really focus on financial integrity, empowerment, and information.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying, God, we need to do more of this. I don't think they know the basic information that is necessary for them to be financially successful. And I said to myself, I know, because none of us, we didn't grow up formally with someone teaching about assets and liabilities, and best investments, and really how to financially plan out your life. And I wanted to create space that we really think about our financial investment. How do we really manage our money in a way that we can scale up instead of scaling down, that we can move from a place of scarcity into a place of prominence and financial stability? Because I think that is one of the major things that happen within community is people struggling with financial stability.
Absolutely.
And you are a financial accountant. When you begin to talk to community, I think you discover a lot of stuff, what is needed. So from your perspective, as you're an entrepreneur, you're a financial accountant, you're a financial advisor, what are some things you think we need to know just to at least start becoming more conscious of our financial investment and our spending?
Absolutely. I think you nailed it. We didn't grow up learning these things. We didn't grow up having the education. So my work as a financial advisor was getting that education out to the Black community. The Black community is the community that suffers the most with not having the education. The education is there. And once you have the education, you're then made aware of the tools, the vehicles that are available to you to set up your financial freedom or your financial future, your legacy, things of that nature. So I think the biggest gap there is not having the education of how to.
Wow.
Or what to.
Yeah.
So getting out in the community and just educating on life insurance. People don't understand that life insurance is one of those vehicles that you don't have to have just in case you pass away or, you're planning for your demise. Instead, you actually can use that life insurance to become your own bank.
Oh, wow.
If someone was to sit down and show you how it works, you would actually have, an avenue to where you can set a baby up. My nephew is 3 years old. You can set a baby up. By the time he's 18, he can have a policy to where he can go out and, pay his college tuition. He can go out and buy his first car, put a down payment on a house. Just those small things that we could do to prepare for, our financial future, our children, our nieces, our nephews, that we simply don't know.
Yeah, we don't, because even just that small thing you just mentioned about life insurance, I just heard about that, I would say 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
That I didn't realize that was an option. Because when I thought about life insurance, I only thought about it in one context. This is for death.
Yeah.
And making sure things are taken care of. I didn't think about the investment and what you can do with it. And sometimes we receive this information, I won't say late in life, but I think when we receive it, we have to do something about it. And also, and I may have to ask you this too, like, where do you start? Like, just where do I start when you may not know nothing at all, but yet you're making this salary and you're still coming up many times just meeting your bills? but you have nothing left over, or you think the investment is in designer and this and that, but it's not bringing in no results. Where do we start?
The first thing I would say is so simple, and that's asking the questions. A lot of people don't ask the questions. They may know that something's missing,
Right.
but they don't ask the question because they don't know what to ask.
Wow.
So as a consultant working with entrepreneurs and understanding the level of capacity without knowledge.
Capacity without knowledge.
Like, you can run your business, but are you running your business to where it's sustainable? What happens if something happens to you? Do you have a key person policy in place if you can no longer work? What happens if you can no longer complete your daily living activities? Do you have a disability policy in place that would make sure that your family can still eat?
Woo!
So it's just those little things that are available that we don't have the knowledge of. The generational wealth gap says that Black people are probably lower than 10 times
Yeah.
in salary
Yeah.
than a white family.
True. Yeah.
So how do we close that gap? New York Life has taken the stance to say, hey, we want to make sure that the Black community has at least $10 billion in life insurance and annuities.
Wow.
So that we can begin to close that wealth gap, because we have the education, but now we have to get Black agents to buy into this program so that we can get into the community and begin closing this gap.
There's certainly a wealth gap there, and I am really concerned about it as a pastor. I'm really concerned about it because I believe if we can close the wealth gap, that's the elevation of your congregation.
Absolutely.
Your congregation can do more. They can have more. They can be more. They can then create something that lives beyond themselves.
That's it.
And I think that is the goal, like leaving the footprints that you were here, but also while you're here, you're not stressing out. Like, how am I eat, or how am I pay this? Or if your car break down, you got to borrow from someone else because you don't have anything in reserve and nothing in the bank to pull from. And for me, that's important. And if I break it down within community, it becomes even more important to me why I push education, why I push making sure that we have a diversity of classes in the room that gives people knowledge.
Yeah.
Because knowledge is power. Self-education is probably one of the best forms of education. And while we are in ministry, not just preaching biblical texts, but also let me give you some life skills.
Yeah, absolutely.
That are necessary for your success. And that's why, again, I point it back to you. I appreciate you and your experience and things that you have done to make sure that you educate yourself, because you own businesses before. You're now still working it out in your head to go into something that is your own brainchild.
Yeah.
Not necessarily working for a company, but you do work for a company, but you're using that to empower community. And one of the last things I want to ask you is as a professional in finance, in looking in community, what do you think probably we need the most right now in order to move us from a place of scarcity and the I don't know to really make ourselves bankable?
So good. And I think my answer to this is kind of unconventional, but confidence.
Confidence.
Confidence that you deserve it. Because within community, a lot of people have a perception of themselves that they can only live in scarcity because no one has showed them anything else. Wow. So making yourself available to receive what's already yours by educating yourself and finding out what you don't know. finding a financial advisor that can walk you through the steps.
Right.
I think with our partnership at Vision, I actually brought in one of our agents to talk to some of our partners so that they can understand actually the gap of what they have and what they were missing. And that actually, helped them understand what they needed. So within community, asking those questions and being confident that you can have those things and that it's not just for a certain race or it's not just for people of a certain status. But they had to get there too, some way, somehow. And how did they do it?
Wow. And how did you do it? Did it just come out of the sky? Did you read books? Did you go to a class? Like, how do you get to this place where you are financially aware and educated?
Financially aware and educated for me came because I had no other choice.
Yeah.
I had no other choice. But once I got into business and really understood the aspect of how to run a business, I understood more so about my own life, how to structure my own life, because I was exposed to a level of things and operations that you wouldn't necessarily be exposed to right after college.
Yeah.
So I was able to really put my life in order because I watched people. I watched people that had it together, and I wanted to know, what they knew.
Yep.
I wanted to ask the questions to be able to pattern my life after certain people. So, I studied the greats.
You know what? That's my thing right there. Studying the greats, and I always say to people, and even when I work with different clients, I would say follow the pros.
Yeah.
Like watch what they're doing. You don't have to copy it verbatim, but watch what they're doing. Take notes. So sometimes we critique them, but you also need to be taking notes.
Yeah.
Because those notes can add to your success.
Yeah.
And you have also, you've been an entrepreneur, a business investor, but I want to ask you on your entrepreneur hat, because I see it sometimes even in business as an entrepreneur. What do you think are the 5 biggest mistakes people make in entrepreneurship that are Black or whatever race, but they are trying to figure it out from the bottom? They don't have the investors. They don't have the big background or support that is needed, but they're trying to figure out, but they do have a gift and a talent to create a business. But what do you think are the 5 biggest mistakes they make?
I start there. Capacity with no strategy.
Capacity with no strategy.
Yeah, capacity with no strategy. Everybody's excited about the vision, about Habakkuk 2 and 2, write the vision, make it plain. But then when we write it, we make it plain, and it's time for us to take it off that paper and put it in motion. There's no strategy. So as an entrepreneur, you absolutely have to have strategy. Coming out the gate, you have to have strategy. So a vision is not enough without a strategy. You don't really have anything but a dream.
Well, you came out the gate kicking. All right. That's number 1. Number 2.
Number 2, I would say, again, I have to go back to confidence. A lot of people have visions. They have the capacity. And some even have the strategy, but the confidence. I can't buy something that you can't confidently sell me.
Can't buy what you can't confidently sell me. Yeah.
And I can't buy from you if I don't understand your brand story. So actually taking the time to build a brand and not just sell a product, because people can buy the product from wherever they want to get it from, but if it's you that they want to buy into.
That's a law of the buy-in.
Yeah.
And I say a lot, you have to be so drowned in your vision and drowned in your brand that when they see you, they see that brand. And when they start talking to you, they can feel it. They can sense the passion that you have about it in a way that they say, oh my God, I need to learn more. Or we need to become partners. I need to invest, because if you're this passionate and I can see the results, because you're giving me some results or some measurements that you have done over observation, oh yeah, I want to invest. Yeah.
Absolutely. You're showing me. The results are here.
Baby. Are there 3, 4, and 5, or those are the main 2?
Oh, I was wrestling over here with 3 and 4. That's wrestling. I would say number 3 would be brand clarity. Understanding who you are and what you're trying to sell people before it hits the market. Really creating that brand clarity. Oh, they know that you're a consultant because your brand says that you're a consultant. Your result says that you're a consultant.
Yep.
They know that you're a designer because your brand says that you're a designer.
Wow.
Your life says that you're a designer. It's not something that you just pick up, when people ask you to do it, but this is what you do.
This is what you do.
So brand clarity. And then the last one, I'll give you 4, is process and systems.
Process and systems.
I know that I'm a bit type A, but
sometimes that's needed.
But that is how I run my life. A process and a system makes sure that you can sustain what you're building. You're not guessing because you have a process and a system that tells you how everything runs.
Yeah.
So day to day, you're building consistency because you've built a process and you've built a system that allows you to be consistent.
Now that was good. Process and system. Well, I want you guys to stay with us. We're getting ready to close out, but I want to say thank you for being with us here at Relationship Place. And do me a favor, go to YouTube and subscribe. Take time right now and subscribe to my YouTube page as we continue to kick out these bangers. We're kicking out these bangers that we're having real conversations, very intimate conversations that I believe are really great tools and techniques to the success of your life. And so I want you to be a part of this journey. I want you, as I said all the time, to become in partnership with me. You and I can work and walk this thing out together. So let's do it together. So subscribe, Pastor Sammie on YouTube there at Relationship Place. I look forward to presenting and bringing you more as we continue this conversation right here again at Relationship Place. I want to say thank you, first of all, but I also want to pull on your hat as a spiritual agent and as a gift in the body of Christ. There are 2 questions that I just want to close out with, that if I may ask you, how did you make it through the hardest points in your life, the most challenging things in your life? How did you make it through?
I have this thing where I will get silent. My mom says that it's scary because she doesn't know, what I'm thinking or, how I'm going to respond or react. But I have to block out the noise. I have to block out distractions. When I'm going through something, it's a time for me and God.
Oh, wow.
Because I know that if I can hear from him, I'm okay.
Wow.
No matter what my current circumstance look like, if I can hear from God, I can see the end.
Wow.
Because I know that there's an end. So that, for me, that's simple. I don't take calls.
That's good.
I don't respond to texts. I focus on God and what he's trying to get to me. And that's come with discipline. A lot of times you want to pick up the phone and call mama.
Yeah.
But in some seasons, mama's not going to understand what God is telling you. And the only thing mama can do is pray. So that's been one of those things, really understanding my relationship with God and who he is to me.
And I appreciate that because I can see your relationship with God.
Yeah.
And from my observation, I have to ask you, because I think I've seen you smile more times than I think I saw at the beginning when you first got here.
Yeah.
But now I see you smiling, and I would have to say, what brings you joy? What makes you smile today in a way that, this is the beauty of me being in Los Angeles? Oh,
wow. I think just removing the fluff. When you transition, you always think you have I had this thought in my mind of what LA would be.
Wow. Yeah.
but removing the fluff of what it wasn't and finding the beauty of what God was trying to speak to me in the journey, that has brought me joy.
Wow.
And again, going back to God will give you more on your way than when you started. God has literally given me everything that I've needed to pad me in seasons where I felt like I was without.
Oh, wow. To pad me in seasons I thought I was without. That's so good.
Yeah.
Wow. As we get ready to close, I want to say to you, because this is Relationship Place, and that I want to say that I'm grateful for you, grateful for your presence. It is most important to me at this stage in my life is to connect with those that I feel most safe with.
Yeah.
And in order to feel safe, it's also people who show up consistently and match my passion or match my vision or match, at least we align in terms of what we are seeking to do in the world. And it has been a blessing to connect with you in a way that I believe we match in that way. We match in passion, we match in vision, we match in focus. And I'm grateful for you. And I thank you for your yes. I thank you for you coming from the East Coast to the West Coast and serving that vision in Los Angeles in a way that I believe is life-changing. And I appreciate you holding your own.
Yeah.
Like sometimes people can be intimidated very easily. And there comes points where you be like, oh, no, I'm not doing that. That's when I think that Memphis comes through like, who you talking to? But I can appreciate that because you need people to stand with you that are strong. You need people who understand it and get it. And so as we close, I want to take an opportunity for you to minister to our viewers that are watching us and have listened to what we have said today. And what has been like on the forefront of your mind in terms of what Spirit is saying to you or what even God is saying to you in this moment that can bless someone that is watching us?
The first thing that comes to my mind is to trust the process. To trust the process and learn how to fall in love with the journey. A lot of times we get shaken up by the process and we lose out on the beauty of the journey. But I believe that God is really shifting the tide so that we can understand that there's beauty in the process, there's beauty in the journey, and that he is still the same God as he was when you were smiling in the seasons where you have to sometimes sit silent. He's still the same God. But at the end of it, morning has to come. I keep hearing that. Morning has to come.
Whew. Well, you guys, again, morning has to come. And for some of you, it is good morning. Welcome to a new day in your life. For things to shift around, for perspectives to shift around, for relationships to shift around, and for you to really make room for more. There are some things you must clean out of your home, clean out of your mind, clean out of your spirit, clean out of your phone so you can make room for more because you deserve more. And because you deserve more, stand in that energy that I deserve more. So, again, thank you, Pastor Designate Daumonique, for being here. And thank you for watching and listening to us here on Relationship Place. Peace and love. Until next time.